Welcome, inquisitive souls. I'm your host, Cyan, and thank you for tuning in to the Age of Alchemy podcast. Episode 7 is called The Voyage. All you need are these: certainty of judgment in the present moment, action for the common good in the present moment, and an attitude of gratitude in the present moment. For anything that comes your way, all external things are just a voyage. Marcus Aurelius. This episode is for the ones who feel like they haven't quite found the right religion or philosophy. The ones who feel like no matter where they look for answers, something is still missing. The ones who find themselves in awe of our Creator, but feel limited by adopting a single dogma, since there is so much insightful knowledge and lessons in the vast sea of cultures. It's time to not see ourselves as lost any longer. It's time for the inquisitive soul to be confident in their wonder and not ashamed of it. Before we begin, I want to emphasize to you that you are not lost. You are not lost because you recognize that the divine manifests itself in a myriad of forms. You are not lost if you have accepted the invitation that transcends religious exclusivism, that embraces a broader, universal quest for communion with the divine. In these different cultures, I won't go over every chapter or detail of these different tales, legends, prophecies, or deities. However, I will emphasize components of their teachings that I find that resonate universally when it comes to the human experience. Remember, you are never lost if you are simply always seeking to understand, grow, and communicate with the higher power, humbling our experience. Today, we will be setting sail to explore Norse paganism's courage and honor, Stoicism's mental fortitude in any circumstance, Taoism's harmony with the natural order, Sufism's mystical journey within, and Christianity's vigilance in signs and wonders. Join us as we uncover how these ancient philosophies and spiritual traditions each hold remarkable lessons as we navigate our challenging existence and relinquish some level of control to that higher power, and how they are not so different after all. Before we make our way to the Mediterranean, we must first start from the north, where courage in seeking new land is synonymous with the Norse. Acceptance of one's destiny and unwavering faith that the gods are the ultimate divine power, their protection earned from strength and courage. Thor, the god of thunder and lightning, is a protector of both gods and humans against the forces of chaos and giants. Thor is known for his immense strength, bravery, and fierce loyalty. In his hands rests Mjolnir, the legendary hammer, its weight seeming inconsequential to his immense strength. Its head, etched with ancient runes that hum with the power of storms, glows with the radiance that rivals the sun itself. Mjolnir is a symbol of divine authority and protection, crackling with latent energy, ready to unleash thunderous fury upon anyone who would threaten the realms of gods or mortals. Thor's presence commands respect, not only for his physical prowess, but for his unyielding loyalty and sense of duty. He is the defender of Asgard's golden halls, where the echoes of his thunderous laughter mingle with the clashing of drinking horns and the joyous of songs. Yet, beneath his formidable exterior lies a heart that beats with compassion for those under his charge, a steadfast protector who shields the innocent and upholds a resolute will of justice. What can we learn from the reverence and respect Vikings had for Thor? Thor's importance extends beyond mythological tales. He represents loyalty and the duty to protect. Vikings revered Thor not only for his ability to confront enemies like giants and monsters, but also for his steadfast commitment to safeguarding the community. Therefore, Thor fosters a sense of unity among Vikings, reinforcing bonds of brotherhood and collective responsibility. At its core, Norse paganism reveres a pantheon of gods and goddesses who embody various aspects of our existence. From the ferocity of Thor to the wisdom of Odin, the Allfather who sacrificed an eye for knowledge, these deities are not distant and aloof, but are instead imbued with human-like qualities, possessing strengths, weaknesses, and intricate relationships that mirror the complexities of mortal life. Central to Norse paganism is the concept of fate, or weird, where destiny weaves through the fabric of existence, binding gods and the mortals alike in a cosmic web of interconnectedness. Ironically, a common theme amongst many belief systems and cultures. This belief underscores the importance of courage, honor, and resilience in the face of life's trials, as exemplified by the heroic tales of warriors who sought glory and honor in battles against monstrous foes. Nature itself is revered as sacred, with its seasons and cycles echoing the rhythms of divine power. Rituals and offerings are made to honor the land, sea, and sky, fostering a deep respect for the natural order and an understanding of humanity's place within it. Yet, Norse paganism is not solely about reverence for gods and nature, but it imparts profound lessons on the human condition. Courage in the face of adversity, loyalty to your community, and the pursuit of wisdom are values cherished and celebrated. Through myths and sagas, Norse paganism teaches the importance of resilience, adaptation, and the eternal struggle against chaos and darkness. Dropping our anchor into the Mediterranean. An introduction to Stoicism. In a man who left his diary behind, containing his innermost dialogue to overcome adversity as a ruler. A man we know today as Marcus Aurelius. Aurelius was a Roman emperor who ruled from 161 to 180 AD. His reign is often considered the end of the Pax Romana, a long period of relative peace and stability in the Roman Empire. In other words, a sort of golden age. Marcus Aurelius is known today as one of the 5 good emperors in Rome's history. This is most likely the case because of the Stoic beliefs that he lived by. His private diary Meditations is a fortunate discovery, offering timeless wisdom on the power we all hold as a result of building mental strength. It teaches resilience in adversity, acceptance of the inevitable, and the pursuit of virtue and inner peace. Aurelius' reflections guide us to navigate life with equanimity, uphold moral integrity, and embrace the interconnectedness of all things. to cultivate the wisdom and serenity in our journey through life. Ethical behavior, or simply doing the right thing, is the true measure of a person in the Stoic belief. Strongly advising practicing self-discipline and not letting external circumstances disturb our inner peace. Marcus Aurelius's reign coincided with a challenging period of military conflicts, economic pressures, and the impact of the Antonine Plague, all of which tested his leadership abilities and his commitment to the Stoic principles. Marcus Aurelius died during the Antonine Plague, which historians believe was either smallpox or measles. However, of course, Aurelius lives on through our unexpected discovery and continuous studying of his diary meditations. In Book 2, Chapter 17, Marcus says as follows: "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reasons which today arm you against the present. All things fade into the storied past, and in a little while are shrouded in oblivion. Even to men whose lives were a blaze of glory this comes to pass. As to the rest, the breath is hardly out of them before, in Homer's world, they are lost to sight alike in hearsay. What then is that ought to be prized? An audience clapping hands? No, that comes from the train of vice. A performance in the Senate? That is soon forgotten. So what is left that is worth all this pain? This alone, to limit one's will to a concern for the divine and for oneself, to cherish in one's heart these thoughts, and to keep close to them without ever straying from the path, shall any external cause distract you. Let it be in an instant overcome and recognized for what it is." This is his reflection on the impermanence of life and the fleeting nature of fame and the worldly achievements. He advises not to be anxious about the future, but to face it calmly with reason and wisdom. He emphasizes that what truly matters is cultivating a virtuous inner life, focusing on moral integrity and aligning one's will with the divine order and self-improvement. External accolades and fleeting success should not distract us from this higher pursuit of inner peace and ethical living. Perhaps think of this meditation when you find yourself aiming for a story of success before actualizing and humbling yourself into a person of integrity. At its core, Meditations embodies the Stoic principle of virtue as the highest good. Aurelius continuously urges himself to embody wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation in every thought and action, seeing them not as mere ideals but as the bedrock of a meaningful life. The relentless cultivation of inner strength and control over one's desires and emotions. Aurelius emphasizes the power of reason to govern impulse, advocating for a disciplined mind as the foundation for personal freedom and tranquility. It is central. Part of the Stoic practices is to live in accordance with nature. For Aurelius, this means aligning one's actions and thoughts with the universal principles that govern the cosmos, fostering harmony and a sense of belonging within the interconnected web of existence. Therefore, Stoicism is certainly not devoid of spiritual acknowledgement. In fact, it is arguably the manifestation in materializing it into thoughtful action. Stoicism empowers us to confront adversity with grace, viewing setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. In this way, Stoicism remains not just a historical artifact, but a practical philosophy for achieving fulfillment and resilience on our fast-paced, interconnected world. Changing course to 6th century BCE, China. Exploring the great teachings derived from the Tao Te Ching. Taoism can be understood as both a philosophy and a religion, depending on how it is practiced and interpreted. It has interested me for the past 2 years or so. Again, the simplicity in Taoism I find incredibly grounding. Eastern philosophies in general sustain a pitch that I can't seem to get out of my head when I am seeking solace or a moment of reflection. Taoism dances with the rhythm of nature, embracing the subtle interplay of yin and yang, darkness and light, stillness and motion. At its heart lies the Tao, an elusive current flowing through the universe, guiding all existence with effortless grace. This ancient philosophy teaches the art of wu-wei, where one finds harmony by yielding to the natural flow of life like a leaf drifting upon a gentle stream. In Taoist scriptures like the Tao Te Ching and Shuangzi, wisdom unfolds through poetic whispers and philosophical tales, urging us to embrace simplicity and spontaneity. Meditative practices and internal alchemy unveil pathways to the inner peace and vitality, inviting us to harmonize with the Tao's eternal rhythm. Taoism, a tranquil brushstroke on the canvas of Chinese culture, continues to inspire seekers worldwide. The Tao Te Ching, attributed to the sage Lao Tzu, is not structured as conventional poetry in the Western sense with rhythm and meter. Instead, it consists of short verses and aphorisms written in a poetic and evocative style. These verses are often rich in imagery and metaphor, conveying profound philosophical insights about the Tao, human nature, and the art of living. The language of the Tao Te Ching is concise yet deeply symbolic, inviting contemplation and interpretation. Each verse typically consists of a few lines which are meant to provoke thought and reflection rather than narrate a story or convey a straightforward message. In this sense, while not strictly poems in the traditional sense, the verses of the Tao Te Ching can be appreciated for their lyrical quality, depth of meaning, and the artistic manner in which they express the principles of Taoism. Simplicity, harmony, balance, spontaneity, patience, compassion, and non-attachment. In this voyage or search for God, the Tao Te Ching doesn't speak of God in the Western sense, but I think we can all gather what the following chapter is referencing. To demystify the mystical, the greatest power or force in the universe is something we can only make a humble attempt at doing. However, I will let you decide what or who chapter 25 of the Tao Te Ching is attempting to describe. It reads as follows. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. The earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe follows the Tao, and the Tao follows only itself. If you have ever seen the Star Wars films, the Jedis lived by this philosophy, and instead of calling the divinity the Tao or God, they called it the Force. Not so different in Stoic beliefs at its core. Taoism's adaptable nature encourages us to flow with the currents of change, finding beauty in the everyday and restoring harmony within ourselves and our surroundings. However, it is also pointing to divinity, one to be accessed, listened to, and used as a tool of Zen magic. We've talked about the importance of courage and selfless duty in the North, and the power of resilience and mental fortitude over present circumstances in the Mediterranean, and the ecstatic inner harmony that promotes restoration in the East. Now, let's visit the Arab world. Rumi was a 13th century Persian poet, mystic, and Islamic scholar. He is one of the most celebrated and widely read poets in the world, known for his mystical and spiritual poetry which transcends religious boundaries. Rumi was a devout Muslim and belonged to the Sunni branch in Islam. He was deeply influenced by Sufism, which is the metaphysical dimension of Islam, focused on seeking a personal experience of God's love and presence. Sufism emphasizes the inner, spiritual path to God through practices such as meditation and seeking divine love and wisdom. Rumi's poetry reflects his profound spirituality, his love for God, often expressed as the beloved, and his teachings on the path of spiritual transformation and union with the divine. His work continues to inspire people of various faiths and backgrounds worldwide, transcending religious boundaries with its universal themes of love, compassion, and the quest for spiritual truth. Central to Sufi thought is the concept of Tawhid, the oneness of God, which serves as the foundation for understanding the interconnectedness of all creation. This principle underpins Sufism's approach to spirituality, emphasizing the unity of being and the inherent harmony within the cosmos. Unlike conventional religious doctrines focused on external rituals, Sufism delves deep into the individual's inner landscape, advocating for introspection, meditation, and the purification of the heart. The Sufi path unfolds through a series of stages or stations, maqamat, the spiritual states, ahwal, each marking a milestone in the seeker's journey toward divine proximity and enlightenment. These stages are not linear, but fluid, reflecting the nuanced progressions of the soul as it navigates through trials, purifications, and moments of spiritual illumination. Through practices such as dikir, the remembrance of God, sama, spiritual audition, and contemplation of sacred texts and poetry. Sufis cultivate a profound awareness of the divine presence permeating every aspect of existence. Philosophically, Sufism engages with existential questions about the nature of reality, the purpose of human existence, and the relationship between the individual and the divine. It offers a holistic worldview that integrates spiritual insights with intellectual inquiry, bridging the gap between mystical experience and rational thought. In doing so, Sufism encourages a balanced approach to life, where spiritual devotion is complemented by a deep understanding of the complexities of human nature and the cosmos. Rumi understood the feeling and weight of his curious nature. In fact, he spoke of this often in his poetry. Rumi said, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about ideas, language. Even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep." This passage reflects Rumi's mystical and philosophical approach, inviting readers to transcend dualities and societal constructs to connect with the deeper spiritual truth and inner peace. It encourages awakening to the profound mysteries of existence and embracing a state of mindfulness and awareness. Rumi is often using imagery of nature and metaphors to convey spiritual concepts and the transformative power of love and spiritual seeking. He also said, "I looked in temples, churches, and mosques, but I found the divine within my heart." Rumi is a genius at reminding us to always look within. Our fifth destination is the spirit. A spirit God tells Job of when he thought he lost everything. God said to Job, "I'm giving you signs every day in your sleep, in your conversations, in the clouds, in your notes. Pay attention to them and piece them together. You will notice a sign. I am always communicating with you." This statement encourages an openness to the subtle, the intuitive, and the interconnected nature of signs and messages, fostering a belief of meaningful encounters and guidance from sources beyond the immediate and tangible. Christian belief in watching for God's signs intertwines with faith, reverence, and the profound beauty of divine presence in everyday life. It is a recognition that God's guidance and messages are always present. Imagine a serene scene where the morning sun gently rises over a tranquil lake. It's shimmering with reflections of whispering peace and renewal. In this tranquil setting, a solitary figure kneels in prayer. The heart opens and their spirit receptive to the subtle movements of our Creator's presence. As they lift their eyes to the horizon, they notice a flock of birds soaring gracefully across the sky in a synchronized dance. A man named Yeshua. He knows this is more than a supernatural phenomenon. It is a symbol of God's providence and care, a sign that speaks of freedom, purpose, and the beauty of creation itself. Consider Yeshua, whose life and teachings embody this profound connection and divine sign. In the Gospels, he often used parables and miracles to convey deeper spiritual truths and to reveal God's presence among humanity. His feeding of the 5,000, where Yeshua multiplied loaves and fishes to feed a multitude, not only demonstrated his compassion and miraculous power, but also served as a sign of God's abundant provision and generosity that has always been accessible. So generous that God has planted something within us to activate. A code, a message. And I think Romans 8:11 speaks to that message. The gift that, believe it or not, you also have. It reads as follows: The Spirit of God, who raised Jesus from the dead, lives in you. And just as God raised Christ Jesus from the dead, he will give life to your mortal bodies by this same Spirit living within you. Could it be that Christ Jesus is trying to communicate this with us? This elusive but magnificent power that is within us, just waiting to be accessed by transformation. The ultimate capacity of alchemical transformation each human is equally capable of. Yeshua also knew of what would come with the journey of those who are seeking God. He warns us of many trials and consequences for our actions, and instills that our inner power, that we choose which direction to yield, is a miracle in and of itself. In Matthew 17:20, Yeshua says, Truly, I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, Move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Amidst the bleakness of life, there lies a glimmer of transcendence, a kernel of faith that defies logic and embraces the irrationality of hope. Faith is not merely blind belief, but a courageous embrace of the unknown, a willingness to confront the absurdity of existence with defiant optimism. Christianity's core tenets resonate profound beauty, encapsulating timeless truths that inspire and uplift believers across generations. At its heart, Christianity celebrates love as the guiding principle of existence. The love of God for humanity and the call for the believers to love one another as themselves. This message of unconditional love transcends boundaries of creed, race, and culture, offering a universal message of compassion and unity. Central to Christianity is the concept of grace, the unmerited favor and forgiveness extended to humanity through the sacrificial death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. This grace offers redemption and renewal, providing hope and healing to those who seek spiritual wholeness. But most importantly, highlights humanity's capacity for renewal and transformation, serving as a tangible manifestation of God's love and providence, offering reassurance and encouragement to believers in times of doubt and the immense guilt we all carry for our shortcomings or sins. However, as the word sin in Latin translates to missing the mark, to me this is an indication urging us to try again. Furthermore, implying empathy for others who also miss the mark, as all will be forgiven. Clearly, there are many influences on the individual heading down a spiritual or philosophical path that at times deter us or make us second-guess our judgments, values, beliefs, or lifestyles. Cultural and familial expectations can weigh heavily on one's spiritual journey, or even worse, build resentment for the very idea of God existing altogether. For the individual that might find certain aspects of multiple belief systems appealing, yet feel that none fully encapsulate God, is a complexity that can lead to a sense of fragmentation, a feeling of standing at the crossroads of many paths with no clear direction to follow. But just because there is no direction to follow doesn't mean you are lost. In fact, it means the opposite. It means you are on your own path now. Remember what God told Job. If God is always communicating with us, even when we step outside the status quo, then it makes perfect sense to me to continue down this voyage. This means looking for and identifying fundamental truths behind the vast ways in which lessons are translated. In a conversation, in the clouds, in your notes, in observation of nature, and of course, across the different cultures and time periods. Terence McKenna put it best when he said, "Religion is not the answer, but religion is a place to look for the answer." Since I have started my podcast, I thought my intention was just to express my love for mystery. But the more I do this, the clearer my actual intention has become. Each episode seems to correlate in some way with the past. My true intention behind this important work I am doing is to remind people where we come from, to immortalize the lessons, art, and work of those who came before us, to keep it alive. The reason being because I unfortunately see us all giving our autonomy away to meaningless jobs, to technology, to consumerism, a mass disempowerment I cannot sit idly by on anymore, while I see the life force being sucked out of myself and almost everyone I know. In this new age emerging, one where it's possible for me to record my voice and share it with people across the world, this age that is inevitably leaning toward a conversion of man and machine, an age that seems uncertain of our future rulers, an age where things change so fast and leave behind less and less breadcrumbs of our innate humanness. I declare that instead of our downfall, instead of leaving everything that makes us human behind, instead of leaving God behind, and we do so with keeping the archaic nature of worship, prayer, myths, and prophecies in our lives, because they are real. I declare this the age of alchemy, an age of transformation, but always remembering who we are, a reflection of the highest of the Most High. Thank you all so much for listening. Stay tuned for episode 8, called The Choice. I love you all. God bless.